What's up, everyone? Welcome. This is Playing in the Stars with Dr. Spaceman and Vet Gaming tonight, and we should be getting more people in, but actually one person in, but he's running a bit late. He's not sure if he's gonna make it. So for now, it's us. But how's it going, everyone? Good to be here. We're gonna talk about PlayStation and some great news going around. But first, Vet, what's up, man?
Oh, not much. Just moving. Had yard sale over the weekend, so I didn't do anything really. Friday, no streams Friday, no streams Saturday, nothing obviously Sunday because it's Mother's Day in the United States. So I didn't do anything then. Nothing today yet. I may go live at 10 tonight. We'll see how my knees are. But dude, holy God, running a yard sale sucks. Moving sucks. I carried a couch upstairs. I carried a dresser upstairs. Moving in general and all of that goes along with trying to get rid of things and getting a dumpster and all that's a lot of work, and I don't want to ever do it again. I'd rather just whoosh and then just buy everything new. Oh man, I didn't realize. I forgot how much work it is.
Yeah, moving is always so fun. It's like you do everything you thought you needed to do.
Somebody
Then
was
you
like,
realize that you only
like
have a third of your stuff moved, and then you have
I
way more stuff than you thought you
I
had.
know we've made so many trips, and I'm like, all right, it's not that bad. And then I'm realizing like, how the hell did we get so much stuff? Because we've moved a couple of times. I'm just like, every time we get more things. I don't understand it, but I know that. And somebody was like, "Why don't you just get a moving truck?" I said, "I checked into that, $10,000." And they're like, "What? Why?" I said, "Well, it's a like a 1,100-mile trip, so it's load up the house, load up the truck, unload the truck, drive 1,100 miles plus tolls plus gas. It's a lot." So I was like, "Oh." So instead, we got a moving truck that we'll get next week for like 1,500 bucks, and now my headset's about to die. So hold on one sec. I forgot to charge it like the last 3 days, so that was my fault.
No worries.
Luckily, I've got power cords available for my wireless headphones. Although I may end up getting the true wireless ones from PlayStation at some point. I know they've got some in the works that don't need. Well, the ones that are like, yeah, I know that these are wireless, but I remember hearing something that they were working on an updated version that doesn't require the USB dongle thingy
Okay.
that would plug into the PlayStation. So they've got like a newer version of this that's coming out that will just be straight like wireless, like with the Bluetooth or whatever it's done. So I'm like, yeah, those will be mine
Oh,
at
cool.
some point. I'll get those.
By the way, we got Rudigs in the chat. What's up, Spaceman Vet? I come help you move, Vet, if I was closer to you, but I'm scared to go south of the border.
I don't blame. You know
That's a
what?
general
Honestly,
Canadian sentiment.
you know what? I don't blame you. But also, congrats, Rudigs, on your PlayStation podcast.
Yeah, I didn't
Um,
get to watch it because I was at work while you guys were live. Go ahead, Vet.
no, I was gonna say it was good up until Anthony tried to commandeer it via the chat, him and FCat. But otherwise, it was a really good one. And I already knew that Dorgan was a PlayStation guy at heart, so even though he has no consoles, was funny because he uses the phone. But I love the retro talk that you guys brought in because they were talking about the emulation on the Vita or the PSP. I don't remember which one. I used emulation on the PSP. I never had a Vita. I wasn't cool enough for that one.
Oh, it's upstairs. I got one.
I
Uh,
should just
Fun
borrow one from
device.
Ray. I should borrow one from Ray. Ridiculous. I'm now on the PlayStation bandwagon.
But yeah, we're gonna have to connect up Rudigs and make a PlayStation podcast network. Connect between podcasts.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, there's so many Xbox fans, not just fans, but like the talk show, podcast, whatever you want to call them. There's so many of those out there, but there's very few that I find of PlayStation stuff. I mean, obviously, the ones that have thousands and hundreds of thousands, but the smaller guys, I like those because then you can actually, they tend to do a little bit more than just go for the numbers.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was Doregon the other day posted about playing like Mario 64 in his Vita,
That was
something like that.
fantastic. Yeah, Dorgon loves the retro stuff.
I
And
actually
he
was
gets
playing Final Fantasy X on my Vita at the same time that I saw that.
nice.
Mm.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, let me see.
That's awesome. So, yeah, as for myself, spend the weekend trying to fix my car. Still not fixed. I'm using my wife's car right now to go to work. So apparently I have to learn to drive sticks because I never had to before.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, I haven't driven. That was my first car, an '86 Honda Accord. Was my first car with stick shift. Oh man, that brings back memories. I don't know if I mean, I guess I probably could. Once you learn stick, it's like riding a bike. You never forget.
yeah. It's I
It's
tried it a few times before, but that's a long time ago, and like both of my cars were automatic, so I got to drive sticks. In the meantime, I get my car fixed, but still working on that. It's just a bolt that's seized in. They've put Loctite on the treads, and it's all rusted in. So, gonna have to figure something out to free that up, so I can change my
nice.
wheel bearing and all. A lot of
Isn't
fun
it?
time.
Isn't it fun owning a vehicle?
Yeah.
So fun.
Anyway, so other than that, for gaming wise, yeah, I've been playing a bit with my Vita here and there, and I finished Spider-Man Miles Morales, the campaign, and I'm getting close to my platinum for that game. So much fun, really enjoying that game. I enjoyed Spider-Man Remastered. I played Spider-Man on the PS4, and I
That's
played
right.
it.
That comes out next month, doesn't it?
It's September.
Oh,
Well, no, it's
I was getting. I
fall,
was.
but rumors are saying September. I've been saying September forever for some reason
Why did
because the
I think?
first
Why did I think it was coming out in June?
that's Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, right. I can't keep up. There's too many games coming out. That's my problem.
A lot of quality games.
So much stuff. I just want Spider-Man 2. I can't wait for that game. Oh my lord.
Have you finished Miles Morales?
I beat the story, and I beat the story for Spider-Man remastered. I never finished the DLCs for either for anything, and I never finished all the side missions. So I just got to download it again still, and then do the side missions. And actually, I don't know. I played it on PC in the
Just do it
cloud.
again
So
on PlayStation. It's
I know
even better.
I know. That's the goal is to get that one. I just remember like being blown away by Spider-Man remastered, and then like not realizing that when I played Miles Morales that it tied in with the ending of Spider-Man remastered. Like I had no clue, and until I'm playing it, and then when the events all tied together, it was like. Like I
Yeah,
was like, it was like watching a movie. I was like a kid again, like getting all super excited and everything. It was like, oh, because you could tell I had absolutely no clue that that was what was going to happen. It was so fun.
yeah. Because if you follow the story, you actually to understand everything, you actually need to play the DLC from Spider-Man.
Miles is my
Uh,
Spider-Man. Peter
me as
Parker's the
well.
white.
After finishing Miles Morales, I can say Miles is definitely like my favorite
Peter
Spider-Man.
Parker's the white boy.
It's he's really awesome. He's
Boy.
got powers that far exceed Spider-Man in a way. But yeah, they're both great. But Miles is really great. But yeah, like I streamed the game, and to be honest, when I finished the story, I stopped talking during my stream because I was like almost crying. It's touching the ending. It's really like they do a build up Brian was talking about it the other day, and it's like how like it really hits and finish the game. It's like whoa,
There were things in it like I had no idea. Like there was certain things that were gonna happen. Like some of the stuff in Miles Morales like caught me off. There were like what I thought would be twists and turns. I just didn't expect certain things to happen, and I was just blown away. But I think what sold me on both of the games was the story. Was just on a whole nother level, in my opinion.
mm-hmm. And it's like we were talking about that in the podcast private chat yesterday, I believe, because for the longest time, Insomniac has been my favorite studio since I played Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction on the PS3. The moment I tried that game, I was blown away by like all the details in the background while you're playing, like this the city in the back being destroyed. It was so beautiful, far ahead of anything else that was on the PS3 back then. And I really got into their games and followed them for a while. And then, but other than that, one of my favorite game of all time was Ultimate Spider-Man on the PS2, which I absolutely adored. Like everything, how they built the world out, you can explore everything, and the story
Yeah.
was amazing. So when I first heard that Insomniac was doing a Spider-Man game, I was like, "Wait, what?" It's like
Oh,
two
I
of my
know.
favorite things combined together. So Spider-Man was amazing, but Miles, it's like Spider-Man gives you a good story. Miles connects to the player. It's really it makes that story personal. It makes like the
Yeah.
characters, the way they're meshed into the story is breathtaking. And like personally, I've done a lot of music in my life, jazz and all kind of stuff like that. And the more musicals side of it, like Rudig's mentioned the music, that's amazing.
Oh,
But it's
yeah, it
like he
was.
does some mixing, does some like you actually have some missions where you're gathering audio tracks for music composition that his dad and uncle have done. Not to get too much in spoilers, but it's like it was interesting and I like that side of it. And you hear some of the stuff that Miles mixed, and it sounds amazing. So I like how they mix that up in the in the game. What's even funny is you see Miles like it's Miles Morales, but he's using
Yeah.
his mom's last name, and his father's last name is Davis. So his name would be Miles Davis, but he's actually using his mother's name. I don't know if you know who Miles Davis is. It's like one of the most famous jazz musician of all time.
Yeah.
So kind of some funny tidbits about like how it ties to music and all in New York, and it's I really adored Miles Morales. That's why I'm doing the story again because you need to do it in order to get a platinum, and I feel like it deserves it.
Yeah.
It's the quality. So other than that, I haven't touched Horizon in a while because I've been hooked up on Spider-Man, well, on Miles Morales. But I'll be getting back to that once I'm finished with that.
I felt bad because I hadn't been on the PlayStation in like ages. Because I've been doing the PCs or the computer streaming stuff because it's convenient right now to not overtake the living room and all. But I played last night for a couple hours just playing Wolfenstein still, and so much fun with that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can share the screen. Won't be
But
long.
Wolfenstein in general, the one that was one of the freebies that was on PlayStation is so much fun because I remember though not Youngblood, but the other ones. Like I like the fact that I can play through it, then I can start over and I can do a different choice, and it changes the entire game is completely different. Like certain choices, if I redo everything, changes the outcome of the whole game, which is good. Um, oh, and I got like 4 trophies last night, so that was cool too.
Nice.
I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about those things. Gotta mount those on my wall in my PlayStation. Oh wait, they don't have them yet. I need that. I miss that thing.
So last week, after we did our podcast, of course, PlayStation delivered the PlayStation blog, including all the monthly games that are added to the subscription. There is some pretty good quality stuff in there.
Dude, they had that was a big list of games.
Big list of quality games.
Yeah, like not like I mean there's some the small stuff, but like obviously the big one is the first one on the screen, Ratchet and Clank, because that was the one that we discussed about like at the very beginning with taking advantage of the PS5, like when it first came out, because there weren't a whole lot of things that really took advantage of the PS5 hardware, and this was one of those at the very beginning.
Rudik says I will play Ratchet and Clank. Rift Apart is breathtaking. It's Insomniac. It's the same studio that does the Spider-Man games, which in my opinion is the best studio in the world. Like there's sorry, Guerrilla that made Decima Engine. Like that studio has some of the best talent in the world, especially on the technical side.
Yeah,
But for the studio as a whole, like how they coordinate everything and make, like, in my opinion, flawless quality at all time, it's Insomniac. Insomniac, in my opinion, is the best studio as a whole that works as a unit. They
yeah,
deliver pretty much every time they deliver a product, it's quality. And Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is really like it delivered the game, the system seller for the PS5. Included all the features, included the tech optimization, the SSD. Because
yeah,
what Rift Apart does, and we haven't seen in any other games yet, is you basically use portals in that game that create dimensional shifts.
yeah,
Those maps, like you're changing from one map to the next in the blink of an eye, and those are not kept in your RAM and your PS5 RAM. And the PS5 doesn't have that much RAM in it because it doesn't need to. I think it's got like 12 gigabyte of RAM or something like that. It does the job normally as a standard setup, but they
yeah,
didn't push for more. It's like 12 or 16. They didn't push for more because they had other tech in there, which is the Kraken encoder that's doing something even better. It's basically your RAM will be used for like your character that's playing around. You know, like your okay, you got enemies around. Your like your direct actions, everything going on, your HUD and everything will be in RAM. But the map as you're playing, that's loaded directly from the SSD.
yeah,
Because of how fast this transfer speed for that memory is. So when you change map, it's actually blanking everything and loading everything up in a fraction of a second. So you're just transitioning from one map to the other without basically clogging up your RAM on the PS5. So on the technical side, that game is extremely impressive.
oh, Ron, what would we do without you, buddy?
What's up, Ron? Stadia has no maps.
I saw you playing. I didn't chat, but I did catch you playing some PlayStation earlier.
Ooh.
I don't know if it was might have been yesterday.
Yeah, Ron's been doing a lot of PS5 gameplay. A lot of good
Yeah,
clips. So, yeah, the hashtag make plays happen, or something like that he's been sharing. A lot of really cool clips. But yeah, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, that's a game that I like. I got the platinum for that very quickly because I had that game to my heart. I really loved it. So I definitely recommend. Great adventure, amazing graphics, and the gameplay is just ridiculously good. Uh, Now, this is another one that is,
I
it's a bit of a surprise.
didn't we see something about. I swear we heard something about this a while back,
Yeah,
or was it during one of the events, the PlayStation events? I
it
swear
was
we
revealed
looked at
during
it.
the state of play. So
Okay,
it's
that's
actually
where
like
I knew we saw it somewhere. I was because I swear I was like, God, that looks familiar. Why do I know what that's from? And I couldn't for the life of me figure it out initially. So
so it reviews have been coming out and they've been raving like
I saw
apparently it's
like
really good.
nines for
Yup.
a puzzle game. That's what scares me because it's a puzzle game. So I'm just like, oh, I don't personally want to. I want to check it out because it looks interesting, but I also know that it's a puzzle game, and I'm just like, I hate puzzle games. But it looked like I thought it was like that other, like it was going to be something completely different. I forgot, but I remember I was like, when it compared it to like Lemmings, I was like, oh, I remember that game when I was a kid.
Yeah, same for me. Play it on the Commodore,
Yeah, I played it on DOS at the time. I think good
on the
old
Amiga
Microsoft
500.
DOS. I had a Tandy 1000. I played it on. God, I'm old.
But yeah, it's a bit like the Lemmings that you're guiding people around in a puzzle and yeah, people
It
falling
looked
out the ledge and all.
It just looks so cool though. I'm just stunned at how high of reviews it got because I'm like, there are bigger games that don't even get those kind of numbers.
Yeah, it's Shio Yoshida at PlayStation who
But I
actually
don't.
discovered the game, the project that was built, and
But
like
nobody's talking about it either, though.
it's
That's
under
the
the
thing that
radar.
I know. That's what I don't get. Like you see numbers like that, like the ratings when I saw it on Twitter, they were like 9.5s across the board. I'm like, when you see stuff like that, you would think that should be talked about. Like there would be, everybody's going to be talking about this game, and there's just nothing. I was like, I don't get it. Like, why wouldn't you talk about a game that's got humanity feels like a game not for Western culture?
Yeah, it's very possible that it might not be a big hit in North America, but it will be at another location. I personally intend to play it, and I'm
I
really
want to
hoping
check
that
it.
it's gonna be good.
I want to check it out. It looks interesting to say the least. I would still give it a try. I may not stream it online, but maybe I give it a try and see what it's all about. I don't know. Rudix will probably stream it. He might try it out. We just have to show him which games to be like. All right, these are the ones you want to stream. These are the ones you want to play, and those ones stay away from. It could be. It could be. There are plenty of them. There are a few that I'm looking forward to that will be on console. There's Paleo Pines is one that I will buy when it comes to PlayStation 5, and there's a indie um, live stream event coming up in June. That's which is why I was thinking June for. I had June up that month on my mind, and I thought Spider Man.
That's right.
Um,
This game has also VR compatibility. Like you're seeing right now, the footage that's in VR.
oh, that's awesome.
So you have the
I,
puzzle
I
in front of you in VR.
I couldn't do that though. I don't know. I guess maybe I could. I have to get a PSVR first to try it out. I got to be able to figure it out. There's just so much stuff to do. So little time.
It definitely does look interesting. I was intrigued by it, but didn't think much of it when it was first revealed. But seeing what people are saying about it, what they're comparing it to, and it's like how good it is, apparently, it's like, okay, yeah, I gotta try that.
Yeah, I mean the numbers alone make you want to try it out. There are games that you just shock you. There's another one that um that I've got a couple of articles I'll bring up later ones as we get through things because I've got a free to play one that I'll bring up. Um, that kind of surprised me because it's actually really fun.
So yeah, right now humanity is sitting at a Metacritic score of 84.
It's pretty good though for a game that hasn't been released yet.
Yeah, so score is not out on PC, but like if you go look at the scores, like the reviews, like they're saying a lot of good stuff about that game. So yeah, really intrigued to try that out. It should definitely be a fun little game, at least to try a few times. Oh, and there was actually a map editor, a stage creator. They're showing like creating the PlayStation logo in it, but you can create whatever you want. So that'll be definitely interesting.
Yeah, there's just there like I did see that part of these 22 games. Since we're talking the lineup, that some of the games that will be the classic games are shipping with trophies.
Yeah,
Blade Dancer and Pursuit Force will have trophies, I believe. I don't know what else. Actually, hold on. Let's see. There's Blade Dancer has some Pursuit Force, and it looks like Siphon Filter, Logan Shadows, the third premium game hitting. But well, a trophy list hasn't been published yet. They're saying it should, since every other Siphon Filter game that's been put on has a trophy list, so I'm guessing it was Legions. That's one that I remember playing it on GFN, and I liked it. It had issues, major issues, when it was released because of the multiplayer stuff. And it was just the how long it took to get into a game and things like that. But it was such an underrated game that it just got so much negativity on it for such a good game.
A lot of good potential behind that game.
It had so much potential that got wasted, and I was so sad that it did because it was such a good this the storyline. What I really liked, if you play this, get through it, or just play the Aiden Pierce storyline. It's a campaign, but it's a Ubisoft original. Now, when they do the original stories that are written specifically for these games, they are so good. They're on a whole nother level, and I don't understand why these these originals within the game are better sometimes than the game itself. It makes no sense to me.
Hmm. Nice. Run with Redfall and Stadia. Not a game
Oh,
added is Dishonored 2.
I don't know if
So
I ever played that.
I've never really. I think I tried a Dishonored game quickly, but I never invested time in them. But I should. I heard a lot of good stuff about that series.
I feel like it's a dishonor to not play Dishonored. I was trying. I don't know. When I first saw the image before I saw that it was Dishonored, like it to me, I thought it was going to be like a fighting game, like Mortal Kombat, because that's what the image made me think. I just assumed it was going to be like that, and it's not. It's not Mortal Kombat at all.
Yeah, it's kind of a assassination game that you're roaming a world, completing quests, and in first
It
person
sounds
shooter.
fun. Yeah, I mean, it sounds fun. I like assassinations and killing and all of that stuff. But when it involves being sneaky, then I tend to stray away because I can't do that.
I should give it a try. And there is Dishonored, Death of the Outsider. Was that DLC for the first one?
I don't remember.
Anyway, there's also this one that is being added to the subscription, so I'll need to give that a try. So next up, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin.
I
That
might check.
I'm not familiar with.
I'm not either, but I might. It just
So it's a
Rice
side scrolling action.
came out. It was originally released in November of 2020. It's a one-player game. Publishers Marvelous XC, developers Edelweiss. But that was pulled off of the Nintendo Switch page, so apparently it must be for all platforms. Let's see, yeah, PS4. It was released in North America for the Switch, PS4, and PC through Steam. Then it came out in Japan. I don't care. Just tell me something about. Let's here. We'll just click this. Um, Spoiled Harvest. Okay, so Scoop finds it. Yeah, it looks more like what's that game style that JD always played? What is that? The JRPG type thing? Is that the one that he's always talking about? That's
Yeah,
what it seems. That's what it seems like when you're looking at it. It definitely you can see that
anime
I'm look.
games.
Yeah, it definitely resembles that, or like it almost kind of looks like even like the what's the not the Avatar. What's the other? There was another one that did like or Nickelodeon did Airbender and all that stuff. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's got that JRPG vibe to that. I mean, I don't know if I would play it to be honest.
it
That's
does
never
look
been my.
fun. I
It
might give
doesn't.
it a try.
I mean, there are games that I say this is not my style, and I'll still try offline. I just won't stream it because it's just not something like I don't want to stream something that I know I'm not going to like, or I may just kind of get bored with after a while, and everybody else wants to see me stream it, and then I'm stuck streaming it. Like then I have to add it to my list, so I don't want to go down that path. But like I was saying, you can clearly tell it's got that anime. There are bits and pieces where you can see this that style that I mean, and technically, yeah, I agree. Rice is power because You drop your phone in the water, man. Rice saves the day.
You actually have like little tutorials on growing rice and all. That's funny.
Like that, if it was like that, I could do. But I may end up trying it out. It does. I think if it, I would have to try it. But this looks. It almost looks like a farming a rice simulator. If you, although that water effect, look at that. And I'm watching the video, so I'm watching what you guys are, and it still looks there. Certain scenes, it looks fantastic though. So I don't know, maybe I'll be surprised and I'll enjoy it.
Looks pretty good.
Oh, it's not coming out till August. God damn it, man! I gotta wait till August to get this game. Lame.
So, next up, Tomb.
Oh,
It's actually all three of the Tomb Raiders.
oh man, I love the Tomb Raider games. They're so good, but I can't beat them because I get to a point where I'm stuck in a puzzle and I quit.
So yeah, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration, and
Is that the
Shadow of
Shadow?
the Tomb Raider PS4.
That's that's the one that I got stuck at in one scene and I never played it again because I couldn't get past it.
I'll have to inquire because I know Shadow of the Tomb Raider is one that had like a lot of ray tracing effects and all, but it says it's a PS4 version. I'm curious to know if there's a PS5 upgrade for it or.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. You know what? I got the PlayStation app. I could look, right? I mean, it should still tell me. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care if it's going to be grossly hot out. Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Ron
Oh,
says I have not bought a PS5 game in 6 months because of the value of PS Plus.
yeah.
It's great value.
But you know what? Somebody told me that they're like, I cancel. I'm not paying $120 for PlayStation Plus Premium. That's not even worth it. 120, and I'm like, are you kidding me? No, it was when Rudix was doing his talk show, and Reaver was in the chat and said that. I'm like, Reaver, you realize 3 games. Just if you get 2 games in one month and get one game the next month, I mean, you really 3 games pays for that in itself. If there are 3 games that you know you want to buy and they're included in the subscription, it's already paid for it
I buy
because you
my subscription on Black Friday. It's usually 25% off for the year.
but you keep those games as long as you have a subscription. Those games stay in your subscription account. So, like, if your subscription expired and you had to go a week before you could renew, yes, those games wouldn't be playable. But the moment you renew your subscription, guess what? They're all playable again. You don't, as long as you claim them, and even if you have to take a break, if you were doing it monthly and you had to take a break, claim everything up until that end. But once you renew and you restart it, you get access to all that. So you're never losing those games unless they just completely disappeared. But there's that's what the benefit is. There's the ones that they give you, and there's the ones that are just included. And either way, $120 is chump change compared to with the value of the games that you get access to sometimes.
No, it's definitely a solid subscription. It's well worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Uh, Next up, Bus Simulator 2021 with PS4 and PS5 version.
Ooh, nice. That'll definitely. I mean, that'll. I think that'll get attention from some people. There are people that still play that stuff. So those simulation games and the bus simulation games always seem to do fairly well.
I'm curious about it. Normally not my type of game, but I'm actually curious about it.
I've watched Lee stream them on his Xbox, and the amount of what sets it apart for me is the amount of detail in some of these games, these simulators. Like it's not going to be the same as like Euro Truck Simulator or American Trucking Simulator. This like these the bus simulators. Yeah, you're picking people up, but you can still see everything where it's where whatever the city is that you're based out of. I've played a couple before that were like based in Germany, and it's crazy the level of detail these games, these simulator games do. Like they catch you off guard with how good they are that you actually don't you forget you're just driving a bus because you're enjoying the scenery and everything around, which is really nice.
That's awesome. Next up, The Evil Within 2.
Not for
Uh,
me. I'm gonna pass on that one.
Scared of scary games?
I can't do scary movies. I can't do scary games.
I want to try The Evil Within. The first one is also on the subscription. So that's from Shinji Mikami. So that's the creator of Resident Evil. He was the head of Tango Gameworks over at Bethesda, left a few months ago. I'm really curious to try that out, see what kind of game it is. So that one, you're playing a detective that's investigating unusual stuff going on. But I've never tried those, and I'm really curious about trying them. But I'm not a horror game type of guy, also. But yeah, should be an interesting title. I've heard good stuff about that. That one though is more in line with what you usually play.
Yeah. You know what? And this was the most underrated one that out of the whole Wolfenstein franchise. This one got such bad ratings, and it was because it was a multiplayer game. You
Hmm.
can do this the like it essentially you need two people to play it. Because you play as the so basically the main character is BJ Blazkowicz. In this one in Youngblood, it you're not playing as him. He gets lost somewhere in France and I don't the 80s, and you're playing as his daughters. So if you're playing it as a single player, you can switch between the sisters. But if you obviously if you have a friend, then you can play as you can do co-op, and then you both play, and you know you can tag. You know it's a I liked it. I liked the storyline. I just never got very far. I don't remember why I stopped playing it, but I've played all of those, and I would play this one just as much. The Wolfenstein franchise. I wish they would come out with another. I really like this one because the music in it is ridiculously awesome. Because of course, you know, 80s. I mean, come on now, you can't go wrong with that. That's like the what was the Guardians of the Galaxy game? That was all basically 80s music, greatest music era, except for the 60s. I mean, the 80s was pretty much it. You had 60s and 80s, and Wolfenstein was based. The time period for this game is in the 80s, so you're getting all that badass music.
Nice. Next up, Tunisia. I've been hearing that's a big addition to PlayStation
I
Plus.
I think I installed that. Oh, I did. I was gonna stream that, and someone said that that is like it's very scary or it's hard. I don't remember. They basically told me not to. But
It,
it looked interesting. I think it was the image, or maybe I did play it. I did a first look. I might have. I don't
if
remember.
I'm not mistaken, it's mostly like a Souls game.
Yeah, that's why they told me to stay away from it. Hold on. I'm gonna check. I'm actually curious now if I did. Is it though, or you just trolling us there, Ron. I don't remember. Hold on. How, Amnesia. Let me see. No,
Tunisia is on Luna.
maybe I didn't do that one.
That's someone who streamed that game just to see some footage. Looks a lot like what's the name of the game? Bloodborne.
I think I did play this. Okay, you're not trolling. Okay, so it is. Well, that's cool. I swear to God, I
Yeah, that's a
played
Souls
this.
game.
Oh, I did. I did play this. I thought it was actually really cool. I thought it was interesting. I liked it. It's not easy. I will say that it's definitely not easy, but it is. It actually was a pretty good game for one that I wouldn't normally stream, let alone play. Anything that is difficult, I don't tend to go towards.
Yeah, it definitely looks pretty good. But that's the kind of game that, yeah, the difficulty ramps up pretty fast, and you have to be dedicated to go through. So,
Yeah, that's where Vet draws the line. Dedication on a game like that, I lack dedication.
so next up, Rain World. Inspired by a simplicity of 16-bit classic survival platformer, requires fast pace. Wait, is that a bit like what's the name of that game again? The one that you're climbing a mountain. It was on
Oh,
Stadia.
oh yeah, I don't know. I can't think of it. Um, Crap, I don't remember now.
Hmm.
Oh, you can definitely see that 16-bit style.
It looks okay, but it's not the kind of game that I get dedicated to.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I that's definitely not something that I would probably mess with.
Hmm. Interesting art style. Yeah, I kind of like the visuals, but not my type of game. And next up is Lake, which I heard good stuff about. I know Maker was saying that he absolutely loved that game. Talked a lot about it.
Oh, I think I saw
Story
something
driven
about that.
adventure.
Those aren't too bad sometimes.
Yeah, and next up, Conan Exiles. That's actually pretty fun
I
multiplayer game.
I had fun with that too.
Yeah, you do some base building, research to do crafting and all. So pretty good addition. Rune Factory 4 Special. Those I actually want to play that. It's a bit like a Dreamlight Valley, or like it's a mix of a cozy game where you build up your
Yeah,
farm with some dungeon exploring that you're finding a fighting monster, getting resources. So definitely we'll give that a game a try. I haven't tried a Rune Factory game in forever, but we'll definitely give it a twist. Story of Seasons, similar. I think doesn't have the fighting element, but you're building up a farm.
yeah, that's another one of that. That's that cozy style that I shifted into. So that's one that I would probably check out. That would give me, another console thing to stream to, for the direct streaming.
Soundfall, unfortunately, this one for Japan and Asia regions, so we won't be
That's
getting that
lame.
here.
No, I'm just kidding.
But it's a music based dungeon crawler. So definitely looks interesting, but sadly, we won't be getting that one here.
Lame.
Most likely for publishing rights and all.
Yeah.
Uh, and now, part of the classics, we got Siphon Filter, Logan's Shadow. So, good classic series there. I need to try Siphon Filter. I never tried that series.
I don't know if I ever
So,
played that one either.
other than that, Blade Dancer, Lineage of Light. Not familiar with that game either. So, I'll have to give. I actually want to see some footage. Uh, just curious. It's all personal videos that people
Did you
posted.
did you see Fortnite was was tweeting out stuff about 7 hours ago. They're
Oh
looking
yeah,
they're looking for somebody.
yeah. They're looking for Miles Morales.
I was like, I can't afford, dude. They have 3 rows worth of just music dances. I'm like, I can't afford that game. That the next one up on the list.
Goes
I'm
Pursuit Force or Ghostbusters?
no Ghostbusters. That's
I
how you get right.
actually pre-ordered that game back on PS3 when it came
I
out. I had a lot
love
of
that.
fun with it.
Oh, that is. I've played all of the Ghostbusters. Well, this one I played the Sanctum. The Sanctum of Slime. That one was stupid. I got the new one when they gave that came out, which because it was straight online and it wasn't a story. I don't think I've ever played it since I tried it the one time I streamed it for the developer. This I was just was literally at the time. This is when everybody wanted a Ghostbusters 3 movie, and they essentially this is what it was. You had all of the same actors, including the late Harold Ramis was in this. They all did the voices. This was our Ghostbusters 3 until they came out with Ghostbusters 3, and which was also, if you haven't seen that movies, that was a fantastic Ghostbusters flick. Oh, so
Yeah, that was actually written
I think that was the story in
by
this
Dan
game was.
Aykroyd and Harold Ramis.
Yeah, they like, so it was literally like you essentially got your Ghostbusters 3, because and then it's not a short game. Like, I remember playing it on PC. That's a long game. Like, it takes it's quite a bit, like, to go from start to finish because there's so much to do.
It's a pretty decent game. Like you
I may
play the newest member of the Ghostbusters. That's like the disposable guy that
have
they
yeah.
want to try new equipment, prototypes that they're not sure of.
I you
So
know
you
I
want to
wish
get some new stuff first and before
the
they try
only
it.
thing yeah, the only thing that I missed is they had Janine. They did not have the attorney.
Mm.
Um that the guy that oh god, what was his name?
Uh,
Uh
he, yeah, he quit acting basically.
to take care of his wife when his wife was sick.
Yeah, and she
Um
passed away, so he took care of his kids. What's his
God,
name
I can't,
again?
Rick Moranis. There we go.
Yep.
I wish that they had and I remember reading about the game. They tried to get him involved, and he wasn't willing to.
No, he
It was
actually quit on Hollywood and everything. Like he had enough
oh
money,
yeah,
and
yeah. I mean, Ghostbusters. He did such a good stuff. I mean, I liked, Little Giants was probably one of my favorite ones.
mhm.
To
But
be
yeah,
fair,
he took priority of I want to take care of my kids,
there's not a lot
and
of people that do that, though. If you think about it nowadays, even then, when he did, there wasn't a lot. I will say, as we're shifting around talking, since we're still talking games, because I don't know how if you've still got stuff in the list. There is a new game that will be coming to PlayStation 5. Um, it just targeted Game of the Year status on PlayStation 5 and 4, and it gets released August 22nd. It'll be on PS5 and PS4 August 22nd. It'll be another kart racing game. Be super fun. It'll be Smurfs Kart, which will
Smurfs.
be, yeah, the Smurfs are getting a kart racing game. So it's Smurfs Kart is launching on August 22nd for the PS5 and the PS4, bringing disruption to the ongoing Game of the Year debate. All insincerity aside, the arcade racer from French duo Microids and Eden Games first launched on the Switch last year and is now getting a wider release across PlayStation and other various platforms, including PC. There are a few surprises here. Expect turbo starts, drifts, shortcuts, and special powers. As far as these kinds of, so it's going to be like literally everything else that's out there. It's if you look at the reviews on Nintendo's hybrid hardware, it scored 66 on the back of 14 or so reviews. So I'm curious to see how it will do elsewhere. The full game will have 12 playable Smurfs and a further 12 themed race courses, as well as split screen multiplayer, unlockable artwork, and a time trial mode. And they've got a trailer on YouTube that you can watch. So that's kind of cool. seems the arcade kart racers are starting to make a big starting to come back now because
Yeah,
you had Disney's Speedstorm, you've got the oh no, they don't have a new crash one that they need. Um, but now they've got this one available, so that's kind of cool. It looks fun. I mean, obviously I will play it when it gets released because I mean, come on, it's the Smurfs. I mean, and I want to see how it's going to do. What I'll be interested is it local multiplayer or are you? Ooh, you got four screen, nice. Will it have online multiplayer? And if it has online multiplayer, will it be cross-platform like Speedstorm is, or will it just be locked to platform specific? That will be something that I would be interested in knowing.
interesting. But I do feel like the kart racer uh, genre is getting a bit crowded with that, though. Like we know
Yeah,
we got Disney Speedstorm, which is a lot of fun, but I'm having issues with how the game is structured. And I haven't had the
yeah.
time to play it much lately. But some of the stuff about the design of the game kind of bothers me.
This I think is more your but see Disney's Speedstorm I don't think is not for kids. Like clearly that was not geared for kids. Whereas I feel like the this one would clearly be geared more for a kid friendly style arcade racer. Possibly. Depends on how it is. I'd have to see more, but the fact that it went to the Switch first leads me to believe it's probably a kid friendly one, but I don't who knows. There was a free pool game available on PS5 also that apparently got is not really that bad. It's called Pool Blitz.
Cool,
It's
but
made Pool Blitz by Cherry Pop Games. It's an arcade pool game. It's a pretty there. I read the review. It was an unexpected release that came out today, and it's free to play. So it's got 8 9 ball simulation, pool simulation. So as this is the latest from longtime billiards developer Cherry Pop Games is structured a lot like a mobile game. That means so it says you can expect loot boxes and a heavy emphasis on the online play with unlockable cues, providing statistical boosts. So it's similar to their Tennis Clash smartphone favorite. But I mean, graphic wise, it looks pretty good. They've got tournaments you can enter, trophies you can get, like real, besides that, gameplay is really good though. It says snappy. The ball physics are excellent. Game lives up to its Blitz title as you can get through a match in a couple of minutes, and it becomes very Moorish to have another go. Loot boxes are attached to timers, but you can spend gems to open them instantly. It's that kind of game. But free to play games, are a dime a dozen, I think.
I'm trying to
But looking
find
at the picture, the quality looks all right. I guess I don't know.
footage that's not just shared by a user.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Because I didn't really have a huge amount of news myself. I just pulled that up, and then I had one thing I found from talking about Battlefield that I'll bring up afterwards, or I can bring it up while you're looking that up. But apparently, Battlefield will return in an entirely new way on PlayStation 5. EA exec has extraordinary confidence in the team. Everything old is new again, is the
Yeah,
quote.
I feel like they're respinning the franchise because they've been struggling a bit for a moment, and I think also they're seeing uncertainty with what's going on with Call of Duty. They've been trying to separate themselves from that franchise, and
Right.
now they might try to get closer to it. Saying,
So, yeah, the EA
"What's up,
CEO
Bulls for Life?"
EA CEO Andrew Wilson says he has extraordinary confidence in the revitalized Battlefield leadership team. He says when asked about how projects attached to Battlefield IP are progressing, Wilson stated that we don't have any date announcements before proceeding to express this extraordinary confidence in the team. The Battlefield 2042 ship has begun to turn with a return to the classic class system fans have been clamoring for and limited time events being implemented. not to mention drastic map overhauls. So it seems that they're getting there. It's just slowly but surely. So it maybe it'll they'll fix itself because I know it had potential that turned into like oh gross.
Hmm.
What's going on, Bowles? I haven't seen you in like a hot minute.
So here's an announcement that came out
Oh,
today.
that one, dude. That one
Amazon
threw me off.
Games is announcing that they're partnering with Embracer Group for a The Lord of the Ring MMORPG that will be produced by the same team that did New World. So,
Yes. But this, I was reading. If you read the article, and I know I think I shared snippets in our private chat.
I
Let me
got it
scroll through
here.
this. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I'm trying to scroll through, but you guys talk too much. I can't keep up with this.
So yeah, it's the same team that did New World, which is excellent MMORPG. That's going to be making that. Uh, so I'm trying to see if they'll give detail about the setting.
There was it. I know it had talked about like there was a few thing areas where what was it's not the same as the other Lord of the Rings multi MMO that was out, and it has nothing to do with the other one that was canceled by Amazon like 2 years ago now.
If it plays
Um,
anything like New World, this will be solid because New World is a lot of fun to play. It's a persistent world set in Middle Earth, featuring the beloved stories of The Hobbit and the Lord of the Ring literary trilogy. Game is in early stages of production with Amazon Games Orange County, makers of popular open world MMO game New World, leading development. Amazon Game will publish the game globally for PC and consoles.
yeah,
Uh,
that's what I saw was I was like, oh snap.
because they've been working on a console version of New World and it's not out yet, but there is some controller support. It's not just yet optimized yet, but they're working on it. But it
Yeah,
looks like I kind of get the feeling that New World might be pushed aside for this because you talk about New World and it's like those who are into MMOs know what it is, but
yeah.
talk to anyone else, nobody know what New World is. Now you're talking about Lord of the Ring. That's a big seller right
Well, and
there.
and they're saying that they're bringing a players a fresh take on the Lord of the Rings has been a long aspiration for a team. So this is going to be completely like its own little thing. I swear there was a continues the Amazon Games momentum. Okay, that's not it. Um, no.
So yeah, it's part of the deal when they bought Tomb Raider from Embracer because Embracer bought a bunch of studios from Square Enix when Square Enix did away with most of their Western studios. Part of that were the rights for Tomb Raider, which Embracer Group got, and they sold individually the rights to Tomb Raider to Amazon Games. So part of that
Yes.
transaction, they built on the relationship that went through that transaction, and that's when they also
Well,
solidified the deal
what
for a.
sold me on this, like if this is done the right way and good, this could be huge because what sold me on it was that it's a my favorite. And anybody that knows has watched any of my gameplay, like the Assassin's Creed, I love, absolutely love open world games. And this is already described by Amazon that this will be an open world MMO adventure,
Yeah.
which isn't that's what New World was, wasn't it? Open world as well. Um, but they're bringing a fresh take on the Lord of the Rings. And I remember reading that this will tie in with the books and the Hobbit. So it's going to the whole storyline, everything about it will be going along the Lord of the Rings trilogy books and the Hobbit book. I believe the books, not the movies. So I think that's what should make people excited for this as well.
This should
Um,
definitely make a lot of people talk. Like it should be pretty popular once it comes out. I'm looking forward to it. as for time frame, how long it'll take, I'm not expecting that game to be out. Like I don't even know if they they talk about consoles, most likely because we don't even know if it'll still be like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Might be on next gen. So because typically game production like that takes a while. So my guess is maybe in 5 6 years we'll see the game see the day of light. I would love to see it earlier than that, but there's still quite a ways off for delivering that game. So there was some other announcement that I saw earlier.
I saw you shared something that Smash Brothers thing.
Yeah, the Disney game. So I actually haven't gone through it because I was at work when I saw it. So I haven't gone through the actual pictures, but there is we talked about it the other day. So there's Disney. They've been investing in multiple games. One of them is actually a arena brawler like Smash Brothers.
Oh, here we go. I pulled something up. Disney. Oh, so it's called Disney Domination is what the rumor is, but it's Disney's working with Square Enix on this one.
Yep.
Because I remember that Disney had teamed up with Square Enix. I did not know what the game was at the time. I hadn't been able to dig anything up. I just knew they were. It was right around the time that they had gotten the partnership with GameLoft to do their two games, and I knew they said there was a partnership with Square Enix, but they couldn't announce anything. So apparently, that's what it's going to be, a Smash Brothers inspired game called Disney Domination. Um, let's see. The roster reportedly features up to 55 characters at launch, spanning multiple Disney franchises, which are spread across a single-player campaign that features 60 stages. Disney Domination has apparently been in development, holy crap, since 2018, and
That's quite
started
a
at
while ago.
well, and it says it started as a passion project, but has swelled with a reported team of 240 developers. That's a lot. The launch window for Disney Domination is the second half of 2024. It should be noted that this is a rumor. Neither company have announced the project, which, why would they? There's no way that if they're working on things, they're going to keep, this would be the big one that would be, because this is the one that because you're going to go after Disney. This is what you do. It says it will feature up to 55 characters at launch. There will be so many online modes, including a 12-player online battles, voice chat battles, Disney Dominion missions, and more. I don't know what voice chat battles is, but I want to know more now. There will be a lounge in Disney Domination where players can go to share custom stages and other content. It allegedly it'll boast a unique art style that looks like something out of Unreal Engine 5 and is supposed to be edgy or quote edgy, and it's being developed by Square Enix, but all of this is totally unconfirmed. But if that's the case, I can see why both companies wouldn't say anything. Like that's a massive undertaking, and it could really just go right at the jugular for Nintendo and Super Smash Brothers, because that's one of those games like is immediately recognizable when you think Nintendo. You think Smash Brothers.
Yeah, and I think Smash Brothers being pulled from Evo and like they were stopping the support for it, which means the next one might be about to come out.
Yeah,
Probably being prepared for as a launch title for the Switch too, maybe. But and other than that, like there was multiverses that was out, and like people put money in that game, myself included. I think I bought a original season pass for it. It was a lot of fun, but as they were having issues with it, they kept patching it, and the more they patched it, the worse it was getting, and was getting out of control. And eventually, they just said, "Okay, we're gonna pull the game. We're gonna fix everything that needs to be fixed with it." So they did pull it, you can't play right now. And they said they're basically going to bring it back probably at the beginning of next year. So hopefully they fix that game because it was a lot of fun. But
Yeah,
Disney,
I would just say let's. I mean, I was looking at the comments on it too, and they're like, "This was debunked years ago," and I'm just like, but it's also on a Nintendo site that the article that I read that. So the comments are from probably Nintendo fans that are, obviously you don't want competition on your platform. I'm trying to look and see what I could find, if anything. And it wouldn't surprise me because you had things like you had Nickelodeon All Star Brawl, which that apparently fell, that just did horrid. You had the multiverses from Warner Brothers. Um,
there's
although they,
Brawlhalla from
yeah,
Ubisoft, but
yeah, there were a bunch of these, but in a post on Reddit, screenshots and a description of the game appeared before being deleted. But somebody documented the thread in a YouTube video. The images appear to be from a story mode of sorts and reveal an assortment of characters, including Thanos, Spider-Man, Mickey Mouse, and an evil Buzz Lightyear, Donald Duck, and Goofy. That's a interesting storyline. That's
interesting.
Oh, I didn't see the video, but I may have to go check this out. Someone said it could also just be an elaborate fake, but so the guy that did this video is he's a Smash Melee pro, called Hungry Box, documented it. He said that's in all subtitles with character names also reveal Woody and Stewie Griffin, plus one of the above shots of Donald that appears to be a Smash-like icon, indicating he's a CPU. The deleted thread indicated the game would be coming out June 2024 and revealed a list of fighters that have been confirmed. The Melee Pro went on to name Mulan, Aladdin, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Iron Man, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor, Black Panther, Gamora, Star Lord, and an assortment of others. That's like
Wow,
ridiculous.
that's
That's
expanding their catalog like to full reach of
surprise.
Disney.
Yeah, surprisingly, there's no mention of Homer Simpson in the leaks, but with Disney's purchase of Fox, there's certainly no shortage of possible fighters and
Well,
stages. Of course,
they already mentioned Peter Griffin.
yeah, and Stewie. So that doesn't. Yeah, it says, of course, this could also just be an elaborate fake. So take everything with a grain of salt. But if this was an elaborate fake, who is going to spend that much time putting together? Like that's a lot of resources, time you're spending to put something together that would be a fake. Like, and the fact that it magically disappeared almost immediately after it got leaked out, like usually when something like that happens, it tends to be accurate,
Hmm.
because somebody made a oops. It's like when the console leaks out a pricing at a store, and then they have to try to remove all traces of it. But
Yeah,
that's a killer freaking lineup. Like, I just want to know what story. How I want to know the story. Like, you're getting Thanos, Spider-Man, Mickey, Evil Buzz Lightyear, Donald Duck, and Goofy, and that's in a storyline. I want to know what the story is now. That sounds like a Disney movie gone wrong.
yeah, kind of does.
That sounds like a
Would be interesting.
terrifying. Just yeah, I mean, but and then just by adding those other characters like Mulan, Aladdin, so you've got those. Then you've got Marvel characters getting added in. So you've literally got Disney, Marvel, Pixar, and Fox, animation stuff that are getting added in. Like, and they've got God knows how many more they could add in. I may have to watch the video at some point. I'm very
Yeah.
curious now.
And other than that, for PlayStation news, it's not really news, but there's a lot of hype going around that people are expecting PlayStation to finally announce a showcase possibly this week for like
Oh, yep, yeah.
the end of the month. So at the moment, PlayStation hasn't revealed anything. They're keeping their lips really sealed, even though there's a lot of insiders that are saying, "Oh, we're hearing stuff. There's going to be a big show. We don't have a date yet." But there is something though. PlayStation is part of the platform supporting the Summer Game Fest, and they are doing a big event this year with a on presence like a stage event where PlayStation will be featured. So Summer Game Fest pretty much replaced E3.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say as well. Like, because the big thing with E3 was, well, PlayStation never goes. When was the last time PlayStation attended a gaming event that featured other companies besides
They
just?
they
It's
do
been a while.
Gamescom, I believe. They do the like. There's a few shows they do, but they
But
stopped going to E3. I believe the last time they went is
God,
2018.
yeah, it's been a while.
In 2019, they said they were out and they didn't see like the benefit of going to E3 anymore because it's expensive to present something there. And in order to stand out, you need to spend a lot of money to make a big show.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I remember like one year, Xbox hired Cirque du Soleil to set up a big show over there with acrobats and all. Really crazy stuff. But yeah, they put in a lot of money usually to take the center stage, and Sony just decided, yeah, no, we're just gonna do our own stuff. We don't need E3. But now they're sponsoring the Summer Game Fest. They'll be featured there, so interesting turn of event. Trying to think if there's any other news we didn't cover. Had something for this. Yo, what's up, Maker Chaos? Good to see you, man.
speak of the devil himself. No, just kidding.
So, part of the other news, we heard Deviation Game has laid off part of the studio. So that's one of the studio we were looking forward to see what they were working on that we knew they were partnered with PlayStation.
Yeah,
Sadly, they were hit by a layoff. I know that they had two different studios, uh, one in the United States and one in Canada. I don't know the exact locations. I think one was like West Coast U.S. But they had to lay off a bunch of people, and apparently it's in the U.S. office. So very curious to know what happened over there. But it seems like PlayStation has been like Herman Holtz has been going around and evaluating what people were doing and making decisions out of that. Like, sorry about this. Not too long ago, there's a Pixel Opus, a very small PlayStation studio that was located within the PlayStation headquarters that shut down. That one I feel makes sense because they had like 12, 12 or 16 devs, like around those numbers that were part of that studio, and they hadn't delivered anything in quite a few years. So my guess is, even though those are super talented devs, they got plenty of studio that are expanding, that are looking for talent to go on board. So they
yeah,
can easily just like, okay, we gotta close that studio. You guys are gonna work here and here. Plus, it frees up space for the new execs that are taking up office at the PlayStation headquarters, like Angie Smets, or there's another one that's doing like live service, head of live services. So I guess they might have needed the office space and they were occupying it and not really delivering products. So
yeah.
might have been two bird one stone. But there is some other studios that apparently have been slashed, but some of them like we've never seen anything from them. So deviation, it might have been an issue. We'll likely hear eventually what happened exactly. I know someone was sharing that apparently they were already 50 million over budget and not ready to ship the game.
It's
So
crazy.
yeah, I feel like PlayStation's trying to gear everything up and they want to make sure their studios are delivering quality. So
Well, there's rumors to keep an eye out for May 18th.
May
Like this,
18th.
yeah, like in 3 days, uh, because Jeff Grubb came out and said that the PlayStation showcase will take place next week between from the 22nd to the 26th. I don't know if it's like the whole time, which would be phenomenal if you could just give me 4 days worth of PlayStation stuff. I'd be in heaven. But Grubb suggested the PlayStation showcase is taken next week, um, and they said to kind of keep an eye out for May 18th because that would be the date that they're potentially going to announce something. Given that they've got all of these things coming up, they've got if Sony is going to announce a PlayStation showcase for next week, it's only logical that it would announce the event this week. When it comes to events like a state of play, Sony has a crew pattern that can be seen. For example, most state of plays, smaller but excellent events, take place on Thursday and are announced on the Tuesday beforehand. There are plenty of exceptions to the rule, but even then, the 2 day window usually holds. It doesn't with PlayStation showcases, and the hardest part is narrowing down what is a PlayStation showcase level event and what isn't. PlayStation Showcase is a rare, relatively new branding. Sony before Sony pulled out of E3, these were still PlayStation showcases, but they were beholden to the E3 schedule. Afterward, there was the Future of Gaming event. There were PS5 showcases, and there was a PlayStation showcase in 2021. They didn't do anything 2022. Let me see. Bold. So it should be taken with a grain of salt. But combined with Grubb's week of May 25th claim, it would make sense if the PlayStation showcase was actually on May 25th and it was announced on May 18th. And then
Hmm.
they go on to list two possibilities for why. One out of the last three showcases, two of them took place on a Thursday and were announced the previous Thursday, both May 18th and the 25th of Thursdays. So they're using that scenario to assume this would be the case. Um, Secondly, to claim something is happening the week of May 25th is oddly specific wording. Someone would usually begin a week with a Monday, so the claim of the 22nd would hold water too. But singling out May 25th could carry a bigger hint than the first glimpse may suggest. And then they showed the date. So PS5 showcase Thursday, June 11th, 2020 was announced Friday, May 29th for June 4th, a Thursday. That was postponed by a week. The next one was Wednesday, September 16th, was announced Saturday, September 12th. And then PlayStation Showcase 2021 announced showcase was Thursday, September 9th, was announced Thursday, September 2nd. So that's why everyone is saying keep an eye out for May 18th because if it's going to happen on the 25th, we're going to hear on it on the 18th. And if it does, then Grubb once again is 100% accurate with his predictions or however he's getting this info. But that's trying to figure out how he gets the info. That's something that's like how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll? The world may never know. And I finally had a way to use that analogy. I finally got a way to use it. So, but yeah, I would say keep an eye out for the 18th, and maybe we'll get to finally see more Spider-Man 2, or maybe Wolverine will make an appearance. I don't know.
Hopefully, because my hopes are pretty high for Spider-Man 2, which in my books still has a lot of chances for Game of the Year. Even though
Yeah,
like Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is doing extremely well.
yeah. There
Uh,
was there was a couple of PlayStation things on Push Square that they were saying even PlayStation has struggled to try to counter the sheer magnitude of Zelda and
mm,
the new release. Like it's just that massive of a game that even they've recognized it's one of those game changer type games that just goes on a whole nother level, and which is crazy because of the underpowering. If you look at a hardware specific for Nintendo Switch, it's not that good. Like compared to like a PS5 or even the Xbox consoles, but whatever Nintendo does, they just make things look like they optimize so well. It just looks like gold.
yep. So I think that covers most of the news we had for now. Uh,
I mean, if maybe we come back later this week if if PlayStation makes an announcement on Thursday, because maybe we can get Brian and uh,
And Dylan.
yeah, Dylan. My brain kind of flew out there, but yeah, if they make an announcement, maybe we do a little, a short podcast for, like, hey, look, see, Jeff. We'd like to thank Jeff Grubb for, giving us this information ahead of time, type
The
deal.
accurate info.
Yeah, if it comes out true, I want to know how he's getting the info
Oh,
on it,
he's
because
an
that's
insider. He talks to people inside of the industry, but I don't know why they keep talking to him with the amount of
I
stuff he
know
leaks.
he just posts the stuff. I mean, and a lot of people. Maybe it's because these insiders just assume no one's going to believe him. But the problem is he keeps being every time he's said, and I agree. Like, that's an oddly specific date. Like, I get, like, if you said the 22nd or a Monday or a Tuesday, but you specifically state May 25th. It's pretty. That's a very specific date you're picking there to go along, and it goes. But it does. It adds up when you look at the dates from the other showcases. It adds right up. So I guess we just wait and see. We got 3 days to wait and see what happens.
Pretty much. So I think we're gonna wrap this up for today. Vet, where can we find you?
Vet Gaming 82 on Twitter, and Vet Gaming on YouTube. Occasionally, you can find me on Twitch, Vet Gaming 13. Sorry for the random numbers, but um, that I can't get Vet Gaming without paying millions of dollars to try to secure that from the one individual that has all of the platforms that have Vet Gaming. So, and I think it's technically tied to the VA, or one of the veteran esports. I can't do that. I can't compete. But you can find me there. I have my. If you go to my YouTube page, go to the community tab. I've got my schedule out for the week already up there. I think I may have tweeted it out also. Otherwise, you'll find me in chats randomly or on Twitch streaming if I get bored and I just want to go live on the PlayStation, because convenience of just clicking two buttons and bam, I'm live. So
Awesome.
nice.
As for myself, I'm gonna spend a bit of time trying to get my platinum in Miles Morales, which I'm very close to, and we'll probably dive back into Horizon Forbidden West at Burning Shores shortly. A lot of great games. Enjoying that. You can find me on Twitter, Dr. Spaceman Games, and I'll post whenever I go live, mostly here on YouTube. And that's pretty much it. No actual plan for streams coming up, and I'll keep an eye out for the showcase. So hopefully that's coming soon, and we can do a direct stream of it. So on this, yeah, we're gonna say goodbye, everyone. Thanks for coming to the chat. It was
See ya.
great having you all. Great chat there.